the first video where we're actually talking about training, the weight room, the gym, training splits, and I'm wearing a normal ass shirt. Still doesn't make any sense. You can't even tell I work out in this shit. That's the brutal part about being lean. It's like you have to live in a tank top to feel validated about being a workout person. I might not be the biggest, but I got veins busting out the biceps. I got the shape in the shoulders, you know what I'm saying? Got some cuts going on. In a regular ass shirt, as a natural, it's brutal, but look, what we're talking about today, you saw the thumbnail, push, pull, legs. One of the greatest training splits ever that I'm seeing get hated on quite a bit these days. They think we're too smart for this now. The science, the research is telling us push-pull legs is no longer an ideal split. I even saw Dr. Mike. He's like, push-pull legs is dead. I love Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is the man. A lot of his um, training ideas have influenced my own training in the last couple of years, and I've benefited greatly from that. But it's like, yeah, your calves recover sooner, so you can be hitting calves every 24 hours, biceps every 48 hours, and then the bigger muscle groups every 72 hours. And it's like, fuck, aren't we just making this so complicated? Because that's really the beauty of push-pull legs, is the simplicity. It's so simple. You literally can't fuck it up. It's dummy proof. On push day, I do this. On pull day, I do this. On leg day, you get 2 leg days. You get your vertical day. You get your horizontal day. And if you progressively overload on all of your lifts, there's no fucking way those body parts, those muscle groups aren't going to get bigger and stronger. It's just so straightforward. It's so easy to program. Very easy to progress on. But we know too much. We're too smart. Even the owner of the gym I used to work at, he was making this real complicated split, and he was like, yeah, I have these bump sets. I'm just kind of like bumping up a group that's recovered enough, but not as much as the other groups I trained in that last workout. So I'll like sneak in 2 sets of legs on this upper body day, because then it's a rest day after. It's like, fuck, I mean, you can do that. You can do that, but what a headache. What a headache. And then on the other side, I'm seeing bro splits making a comeback, and they're saying, no, no, no. Even training that same muscle group twice a week isn't any better than training it once a week. To me, that's bullshit, because by having 2 pull days, now you've just doubled your exercise selection. You can work on chin-ups one of the back days and your pull-ups on the other back day. Or you could have more horizontal pulling and more vertical pulling. Same with the legs. You don't have to pick, well, do I want to work on my squats or my deadlifts? You can have squat day and deadlift day. So I think the camp of reducing overall workouts, reducing frequency, I think that's crazy for the sake of having a vast library of exercises you're working on each week. Push-pull legs, for strength guys, it seems like too bro-y. They're like, nah, this isn't strength specific enough, right? I used to think that. I used to look at push-pull legs and think this is just a modified bro split. It's too dumb. I'm too smart for this. I'm going to work on my squat by squatting like 3 or 4 times a week. And I'm going to bench 5 times a week. And then my elbows are fucking screaming. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm getting strong. So all these different groups, all these different camps are feeling some kind of way about good old classic PPL. I'll tell you my experience with it. Because of the simplicity, from a mindset perspective, from a mental perspective, when I'm doing a back and biceps workout and I just added a rep to my top set of weighted chin-ups, on my chest supported rows, I'm up 5 pounds from a few weeks ago. On my dumbbell pullovers, I added a rep. And then as I'm doing my curls, again, progressive overload on every single lift. That should be a priority no matter what program you're doing. but I'm adding weight and adding reps to my curls. In my mind, I get to think there is no fucking way my back and my biceps, as I'm doing back and biceps day, I get to think there's no way my back and biceps aren't going to get wider, thicker, juicier, meatier, stronger. I'm literally seeing the evidence in real time. If you're getting progressive overload on an incline curl, one of the strictest curls in the game, you know that's not just neural output or trying harder. Like, you have a bigger, stronger bicep than you had before. And you could think that on any workout split, but again, it's so simple. It's so, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but you just get tunnel vision. It's like, okay, it's back and biceps day. I want to feel every single cell, every single fiber in my back as I'm doing my pull downs, my rows, my shrugs, whatever. And I'm doing my fucking curls. I mean, it sounds so stupid as I'm explaining it because it's so freaking simple. And on push day, all right, there's absolutely no reason I won't have bigger pecs, bigger shoulders, bigger triceps if I'm adding weight to all these lifts, if I'm adding reps to all these lifts. And it's really important because you need to believe that it's working. You need to know and believe without a shadow of a doubt, this plan is a good plan and it's working. That's like 95% of the game when it comes to the gym, making gains, making progress, is looking at your routine and saying, that makes sense. I see a clear path for progression. I'm going to walk that path. I'm going to follow that path. I'm going to get some fucking results. A couple little takeaways as far as like some nuance, because I've been running it on and off, mostly on for the last 1.5 to 2 years now. An oversimplification of the system, in my opinion, is when you have that purely vertical pull day. Like if you're doing pull-ups and then lat pull downs and then diagonal lat pull downs and then straight arm pull downs, it's like, in my opinion, that's a little redundant. Why not hit each angle twice a week instead of have purely vertical and then purely horizontal? So like pull-ups and chin-ups are a priority for me right now. They have been for a while. So I'll start the back workout with that vertical movement, and then I'll do some kind of horizontal row, and then I'll either do another vertical or another horizontal. So that way I'm touching up both angles twice a week. Same on the push days. Having a pure chest day and a pure shoulder day to me just seems kind of silly. Why not just have them mixed together so you can go bench, dips, lateral raises, or shoulder press, bench variation, chest press machine to flies, you know what I'm saying? To me, that makes way more sense. It kind of spreads out the frequency. And I find I would rather do a shoulder movement while my shoulder's pretty fresh versus have it be my third shoulder movement in a row. And it's like, they're fucking cooked. Like, eventually, as you hit 3 or 4 exercises in a row of the same muscle group, by the time you get to it, that muscle group is cooked. How much meaningful progressive overload can you really make when you run it that way? So I've had a lot of success changing them up. Same on the leg days. I'll go big squat movement into something more hingy, something more posterior. And then in the same way on deadlift day, I'll go deadlift or RDL. I was doing RDLs for a while. Straight into like leg extension or goblet squats or something more anterior. I've had a lot of success with that. Doing just the one plane of motion, it works great too. It's a beautiful, you guys, it's a beautiful system. It's a beautiful split. It's so simple. 6 on, 1 off. I've even ran it, I, I called it push-pull legs infinity. I even ran it where I just push-pull legs, back to push on Sundays. Before my son was born, I was working out 7 days a week. Even then, I was making insane progressive overload. I couldn't believe it. I thought on a more like hypertrophy style split, I thought progressive overload was going to be harder to come by. It wasn't. It hasn't been. Every week I'm adding weight or reps to something, multiple things. Like the progress has been insane. So this whole thing of overdoing it and it's redundant to hit the same muscle group multiple times in a week, I think that's crazy. But trying to hit the same muscle group like 4 to 8 times a week, I mean, that seems fucking crazy too. Does it all work? Yeah, it all works. Progressive overload is 100% the most important factor. So if there's a split that favors that more for you, that's probably the best split. But for me, being a slightly ADD motherfucker, the simplicity of back exercise, arm exercise, that's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. You're going to make good gains on the split. If you need more information on how to set yours up, if you want more information on how I've set mine up, feel free to DM me on Instagram. Happy to go into detail with you. Let's get you some results. Let's go.